Hey guys, Abraham here from Kinetic Bricks, and I'm back after a very long break. So I just recently graduated from high school, and I now have some time on my hands. So I am giving you guys a look at the Behemoth, which is basically a Lego post-apocalyptic super tank. And here's a little first order stormtrooper to give you guys some scale. And you can see that this thing is a monster. So first I'm going to start out with kind of the specifications of it in the Lego universe. So basically to a Lego person, this is what this thing is. So it would be around 400 to 450 tons. So these vehicles, when they're built in the factory, they're built of scrap metal and whatever's available. So the standards are the vehicle needs to be between 400 and 450 tons. It has a 300 millimeter main gun with a coaxial flamethrower in the turret, and then two 105 millimeter cannons in the sponson, so one in each sponson. It has a top speed of 25 miles per hour and a minimum crew of 5. You've got two gunner loader teams, one on each sponson, and then a driver in the front. There are 12 inches of armor all the way around. That is the factory standard. Belly, roof, front, sides, back, everything has to be 1 foot at least of armor. It is a remotely controlled turret, so that is why there is no crew for the turret. There is a gunner back at base with his computer screens, and he controls and fires the turret from there. So if the bottom of the tank was knocked out and it was rendered immobile, the gunner could keep on fighting and doing whatever he needed to do from base, and he just controls the turret from there. It has an autoloader system that reloads around as soon as it is fired, so the gunner doesn't have to worry about reloading, and it only carries one round in the turret. And you might think, well, how do you fight if you only get one shot in a battle? Well, there is actually a teleporter in the back of the turret, and it is connected to the other end of the teleporter back at base, and there is a loading team that basically whatever button or shell type the gunner selects, the loading team puts that round into the teleporter and it materializes in the back of the turret, and then the autoloader system shoves it into the breech and the gunner's ready to go. So however much ammo you have back at base, that is the amount of ammo you have in the turret of this tank. The turret is also sealed off from the rest of the crew, so if it were to be blown up, the crew could keep on fighting and doing what they wanted to do with the rest of the tank. So it's basically not an unkillable tank, but it really is a nuisance on the battlefield because it can just keep going. It's kind of like a chicken with its head cut off if it loses the turret or the body. So to go into the actual specifications of now the model, right here in the front you can see there is a bulldozer type piece, and that is a bunch of welded scrap metal put out there in front for the Behemoth to be able to burst through defenses and whatever else they want to crush through. And then you've got your two sponsons, obviously, and you have the main gun, which has a 360-degree rotation. It has a fair angle of depression and elevation. And then there's a break in the armor, and that is where the driver sees out of. I don't know if you can see that little dark slit right there, but the driver's located right behind there. He's got his little control board, and there's a fully detailed interior inside, so I'll show you guys that towards the end of the video. So now we're going to go ahead and move around to the side. Alright, we have moved around to the side of the Behemoth, and I'm going to give you a little demonstration of how it rolls as I move it into place. So you do have to put a little bit of muscle into it. So it moves fairly well. It's a little hard to do it over the camera, but okay, there we go. It's nice and centered in there. And I'm going to show you the specifications, or just kind of the features of the kit itself, or not the kit, the model. And as you can see, there are two separate track systems, four in total, two on each side, and they are all run by a center engine, which is under the floor of the fighting compartment. And you guys will get to see it's like a metal mesh type flooring, and you can see the engine underneath the feet of the crew. It's really cool. So right here, I don't know if you can see this little cap part. It doesn't actually come off, but that's the simulated fuel up point. So, and it takes a very special post-apocalyptic super fuel, obviously, to make a 400-ton tank go 25 miles an hour. So you've got the sponson right here, and it has a nice field of view. This is really all it needs because the Behemoth is designed to punch through enemy defensive lines, and the sponsons are for eliminating what is down the line as the Behemoth shoots right through the middle of it. They're not really meant to have this massive field of view. And then right here there's a slit, and this slit is basically like a bunker slit. So anybody they hold in the back, which they can hold up to 10 guys besides the crew, these guys can shoot out on either side. There's basically a slit like there would be in a bunker, and they can take their flamethrowers, grenade launchers, machine guns, rifles, pistols, whatever they want, and they can shoot out there, shoot out of those cracks at the enemy. So other than that, there's not too much. There are side skirts right here made out of the Lego jail cell pieces, and they do lift up so you can see the tracks a little better. And they just fold right down over to add some, extra protection for the tracks. But other than that, that's the side of the vehicle, and now we're going to move around to the rear. Okay, we are now at the rear of the Behemoth. There are two doors. One of them opens down like a ramp, and the other one simply opens up. They actually, when they close, there's a little bit of space between them, and that's just high enough. It provides another rear bunker slit. So whoever's positioned back there, they can take their machine gun or their rifle, and they can shoot at any trailing vehicles if the enemy force somehow surrounded the Behemoth. And there's actually, on this back door, there is a hitch right here, kind of a mount, and you can just take a machine gun and you can pop that right in there, and you can open this door, and you can position a guy in the back like that, and it can pivot, and then you can have a machine gunner right there in the back who can shoot. And you don't have to open it all the way. You can open it just enough, and that provides some sloping on the armor actually. So if you were to get hit by an enemy round, it would have a greater chance of plinking off at that angle. Okay, there's not really anything else in the rear. There is some stud space in the back for mounting bags and other things that the crew would bring with them into a conflict, and then just kind of this gate piece just to represent the random welded scrap metal nature of this post-apocalyptic vehicle. Is whatever resources they could get a hold of, that's what they built it out of. So now we're going to move into the compartment. I'm going to put some first order stormtroopers in there. They are easily seen in the dark environment, and we're going to take a look at what everybody looks like in their proper position inside the vehicle. Okay, we are now on our final view, and that would be the interior. So I'm going to start from left to right and go through the different crew members. So we've got these four guys right here are just fighting men. So we have our tail gunner, and then these three right here are actually shooting out the side slits. And then we have a gunner and a loader and another gunner loader team. And then the driver right down in here, and he's got his little control boards. And these two structures right here are shell storage. You can fit 6 brick arms shells in there. Obviously into battle they'd be carrying more shells, but with the Lego scale, you can really only fit a rack about that size in there. The engine is located underneath this flooring square. If you guys know the name of this type of flooring, please comment below. I have no idea what this is called, but I've seen it in naval ships and things like that. It's that metal crossbar flooring system, and you can see right through it. So I actually included on this upper level the engine detail underneath. So I've got a little probe flashlight that I've rigged up to make a nice soft orange, and I might be able to give you guys a little bit more of a view. It's kind of hard to see with the human eye anyways, just because it's kind of dark down there, even if you're not looking at it through a camera, but that's pretty much what it looks like down in there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for those who have stuck with the channel despite this drought of videos, if you will. I have not had any time really the past year. Senior year, pretty crazy. So again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.